So right behind me over here, that apartment over there, that one. I used to I used to live at that apartment. It was when I was starting out in my adulthood. I was 21 years old, but it's not anything like that though. It's apartment number 55, but that doesn't have anything to do with apartment 609. Hi, Albert, or for any viewers. A lot of bad and violent incidents happened in that apartment because of something that happened outside somewhere else. The girl that I used to live with at this apartment 609, she broke up with me and she dumped me. She dumped me in the year 2014. I became the ex. I'm the ex. The ex husband. I'm the ex. I moved out on after November 30th, 2014. Here's what I did and where I went after she dumped me. It's December 1st, late at night, midnight, 2014. It's midnight, December 1st, 2014. My attempt as a tiger in adulthood. All my all my successes and what I felt on. 609 has been remodeled. I worked at this place, at this restaurant, and it was December 2014. And it was a struggling time and a difficult time period of my life. It wasn't always enjoyable. It wasn't always fun. There were some good times, but I mean, there was also difficult times. I had a car, the 2010 Ford Escape. It's not the dream car that I've always wanted, but it's a decent car. It's a very nice car to get me where I need to go. It's a really nice car, but it's not the car that I've always wanted. I would drive to work. I was practically living inside my car. It wasn't a steady schedule. Like, it was just a flexible schedule. It wasn't requesting some days off, and there was sometimes switch arounds. And they start me off with minimum wage. The minimum wage is $7.25 an hour. $7.25 an hour, and I never asked for a raise. I just kept working and working. And I was practically working full time. I was working like 38, maybe 39 hours a week. Every week, 38, 39 hours a week. I was fryers. I would cook. I would prep food. I would take orders once in a while. Sometimes I was a front counter. I did a little bit of everything. I would maintenance and clean up the store. I almost did everything. Almost. Take out the trash, broom, clean. And I know everything from the menu. I know how to. Trying to provide world-class service. I don't know if it's necessarily called hard workers or just just having the passion to provide to do what you want to do. I was there January 2015, February 2015, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December 2015. And I would make my car monthly payments. A lot of my paychecks would go towards my car payments and gasoline. And I got rid of a lot of my music equipment, things I didn't mean to get rid of. I sold it. There was a lot of music equipment that I used to have. Because I was really depressed and sad about things that I had went through and the emotions and some of the things that I suffered about. And when I felt miserable and like I didn't want to do anything, and I was trying to find how to pursue my living, despite the horrible things that happened. I was practically working full time at this restaurant. And then somewhere in January 2016, I felt like I don't know, maybe I wanted a raise, or I wanted a little bit more, or I wanted to do something else. Because I didn't know what was permanent. I was still trying to figure out what's going to be my career, or what's going to be my occupation. The martial status always stays the same. I'm either struggling for independence, or I'm single, or separated. And I remember I gave my 2 weeks notice somewhere in January 2016. And I went, and I hadn't seen there were some people I hadn't seen in several months. And then when I go, like if I've been gone for how long, I've been gone for so many months, but they didn't see it that way. It's just things I'm not allowed to do. And I was still trying to get over the attachment, and it's not like till later on where I had realized that the things that I realize nowadays. And the next place, when I got arrested for being somewhere where I wasn't allowed to be at, I was in jail for about 2 weeks. I was violating an order, and I hadn't seen them in several months. Like if I'd been gone for too long, and but I wasn't allowed to be there. They didn't see my side of the story. It was their side of the story. And so when I got released from jail, the prison complex, I went back out to fill out job applications, which is where I'm going to apply at, where I got the opportunity to work at the place called T-Tech. And I ended up getting fired over there because they have a policy that I need, when a caller is calling about their auto loans, they have a policy about it's mandatory to have the customer authenticate their identity, two sorts of identification. And I failed on one phone call because I went through their whole information with only one authentication of their phone call, of their identity. And then it happened the second time, and that's why I ended up getting fired at the other call center. I was hesitating because I felt like I was over there for too long, and it made me feel uncomfortable, like if I was doing something wrong. But that's later on. That's where I'm heading to. So I was here, but here at Jack in the Box, and I remember I gave my 2 weeks notice, and it was in January 2016. And it was always minimum wage. Never. Right behind me, there's a building somewhere in the south side of McAllen, Texas. It's called T-Tech. The place used to be called Teletech. They changed the name a little bit. It's called T-Tech now, with a semicolon in between. It's actually a call center, and there's several different departments. It's more than just one department, and they offer great benefits. It's above minimum wage, so they start you off above minimum wage, and it's not semi-monthly. It's not, you don't get paid. You don't get a paycheck weekly. It's bi-weekly. Every 2 weeks you get a paycheck. And there's a lot of great perks. And I actually used to work at a place. I used to work there. I used to work at that building when I was 27 years old. I had applied, and they gave me a great opportunity to work for them, and I was always uncertain if it was going to be short or long term. So because I was always uncertain if it was going to be long or short term, I would still go out filling out applications for employment. But a typical day at work, they would set me up with a schedule from Monday through Fridays. It was full-time position, and I had the position for a real long time. It was full-time, and it was in the customer service department, and I would wake up in the morning. I used to have a car. I didn't go like this. I didn't have a backpack or a sleeping bag. I actually had a car. I had a 2010 Ford Escape, navy blue color. The color of the Ford Escape was navy blue, but it wasn't dark enough. A typical day at work would be, well, since I didn't have a place to live at. I didn't have my own house, and I was still trying to get over the attachment about a girl who dumped me. I wasn't looking for employment because I was looking to be in a relationship with another girl or anything like that. Like I was dumped by a different girl, but the girl I used to be with, I'm the ex. Like, yeah, I'm the ex. And I was trying to get over the attachment that I used with the girl that I used to be with, and I was trying to figure out what my career is gonna be. I was still trying to figure out like what's my career going to be. Like, I'm still trying to figure that out. And I got hired in February 2017. I was there in March 2017, and I had gone to San Antonio one day on the weekend. I went to San Antonio one day. Like, I went over there and back on the same day. I went from San Antonio back to McAllen on the same day. And that would be like after a few paychecks, and I had gone through a lot of discoveries. There was also things that I found, and there was also that I found out. And I wasn't after the girl I wasn't after anything that the girl that I used to be with had or has. I wasn't after any of that. I wasn't after her. I was just trying to get over the attachment. And I would work Monday through Fridays at a place like this. And it was like 8 in the morning, and there was like a routine going on. Like there was a schedule of reminders, like I had to wake up and have to go. And I would sleep in my car. When I get out of work, I go drive around, go get something to eat, maybe have dinner. Sometimes when somebody's asking me for money, I give them a $10 bill. Or if somebody needed a jump start, I had jumper cables to jump start another person's car. And sometimes I will go to the gym once in a while. Just daily activities when I get out of work. And then I just go back in my car and I would park at random places, random locations. And then I would wake up back in the morning, shower, change my clothes. I had clothes in the back trunk of my car. And I would change, I would go to the restroom, or I would go to the park. Then I would drive back over here and just go to work in the morning, early in the morning. And I get out later in the afternoon, like around 5 p.m., somewhere around there. And there was different teams, and sometimes I didn't know if I was in the right team or in the wrong team. I don't know, I was pretty good at my position. It's just I got nervous, like I felt like it was time for me to go when I was there for too long, because I was there in April 2017. I was there in May 2017. Actually, somewhere in May, I went to a behavior center, and I didn't get out till like later in June. I was at a behavior center for a little while. Somebody was telling me that I need to go to the behavior center. And I thought she was telling me the truth. It wasn't my ex. It was somebody else, and I shouldn't have believed her. But I went, and I found out so many things, and I was just relaxing for a while. There was a lot of tension going on. When I got released in July 2017, I went back to work. I was there in July 2017, and then even 4th of July happened in the year 2017. Got fireworks, and I was at places where I wasn't supposed to. I didn't know where to be. And there was places I wasn't allowed to be at. And I was trying to imagine like if it was like apartment 55, but it wasn't like that. It wasn't like apartment 55. And so July, I was there in July 2017. I was there in June 2017. Well, July, I was there in August 2017. I was there in September 2017. And I was even there in October 2017. And I turned 28 years old in October. And in November, I started to feel like I was there for too long. And like I will get nervous, like if I'm doing something wrong, or like have I been here too long, or it's getting somebody mad because I never quit, it made me mess up. They had to fire me because I didn't authenticate the caller, the customer twice. It was only once, and I thanked him for the opportunity, and it was a great experience. It was a really great place to. It's a great place to work at. And gave him the wipes. There was some wipes to keep the place sanitary. Like everything has to be clean. I was a lot cleaner back then and more well organized and suited. I wasn't so raggedy and sweaty. And I wouldn't drink beer often. Like usually, if I would drink an alcoholic beverage, it would be usually on Fridays or on the weekend, like maybe every 2 weeks. It wasn't every day. It wasn't once a week. It was probably every 2 weeks. And I was a designated driver. I don't have those responsibilities anymore. Like because in December I got arrested one time for being somewhere where I wasn't supposed to be. There were still things like I was still trying to get over the attachment or something, and I was very hesitant about something maybe I shouldn't have done. And I got out of jail in December, and I didn't know where to be for Christmas during the holidays, who to be with, what Christmas tree to go to. I didn't know. who to spend the holidays with. I was so confused. I was starting to get confused by that time. I was in December 2017, and then and I was 28 years old, and the next year after that, where I'm going to head to in Edinburgh. So, and I lost my car. They enforced my vehicles got towed, and when my vehicle, the 2010 Ford Escape, they towed my vehicle. I would make like $400 payments a month, and then spend like maybe $150 on gasoline every month. Every month, it was like $400 car payments, $150 of gasoline, filling up the gas tank, driving around. I don't have those kind of. I would do oil changes. I would maintenance my own vehicle. Like I would do my own changes, change the filter, antifreeze, check the transmission, battery check. I don't have those responsibilities anymore. Like it was pretty exhausting. Like I would do it like every 3 months, but since I don't have that car anymore, and then I started walking the year after 2016. And that's when in the year 2017 I just started walking place to place, starting to get lost or confused about things. If I misunderstood something from someone, or maybe somebody misunderstood me, or maybe somebody got me all wrong. So right behind me over here, as you can see, is the McAllen Public Library. I've been going to this library since the year 2015, and 2016. And it's a place where I used to go fill out applications for employment. I would get hired, or I wouldn't get hired. And eventually, I stopped applying. But it was somewhere in the year 2016, or actually 2017, when I finally got hired somewhere. Then it's something I don't do anymore nowadays. And I would come here. I would come to this library so frequently. The year 2016, the year 2017. Year 2018, year 2019. It was around the year 2019 when I stopped applying. So that submitting applications for employment is something that I stopped doing. So that I don't do that nowadays. So it's a nice library to go to. For any kind of creativity, imagination. They have a large selection of novels, and a computer lab. I would use their computer lab so often. So I would usually go during the daytime, not during the nighttime. But it's a place. It's a nice place to be at. Right behind me is an entertainment center called Main Event. I've actually been coming to this same location in the south side of Texas since the year 2017. The first time I came here was actually somewhere between spring, maybe summertime, and I went one time on my birthday in 2017. And then I've been coming here ever since that year in 2017. And I've been going during the holidays. I went during the holidays in December in the year 2017, in the year 2018, in the year 2019. I didn't go in the year 2020. I did go in the year 2021, and I also went on the year 2022. And I thought I'd make it a tradition. It's gonna a tradition to go during the holidays, at least one time, like just one time during the holidays in December every year. Where I hang out with taxpayers, ravenous wolves, lawyers. Everybody gets together and celebrates. It's a great place to be. I love coming to this place. It's one of my favorite places to be at. They have a bar section. I usually go to the bar area to have a few drinks and maybe some appetizers. And I've met a lot of people over the years. Eventually, I don't know if it adds up or subtracts. But I've been coming here since the year 2017. And it's already been several years later. So it's a really great place to be at. I've been coming here since 2017. I do want to emphasize that. And I don't mind repeating myself about it. It's a really great place to be. So right behind me actually is a call center. It's called Teleperformance. It's a place I used to work at. I have a little bit of work history. I think it was like short term. Started in June 2017 and terminated in February 2018. So I used to work at a place like this for a short time. They have great benefits. It doesn't start at minimum wage. It's one of those semi-monthly checks. It's not bi-weekly. There's a lot of people that I've met. It's a great organization. So I used to work at this place, at this call center, and I used to go like this, carrying my stuff. I didn't have a place of my own to live at. I didn't have a car, and I would work Monday through Fridays, just carrying extra clothes, like 5 days worth of clothes. I would put 5 days worth of clothes inside my backpack. I would put shampoo, conditioner, body wash, scrub to scrub myself, some razors to shave. And I would shave maybe once or twice a week. And I would go to behind a fountain. So I would go behind a fountain and I would actually just like scrub myself and wet myself a little bit before going to work in the morning. So I would go do that before going to work in the morning. Then when I get out of work, I go out with my own business, with my own activities. And I would have my sleeping bag. I take it with me everywhere, Monday through Fridays. And on the weekends, I would head back to McAllen, Texas. So this location is actually in Edinburgh. And I would be walking all the place. I would be walking all the time. I walked several miles with no car. And I would just I was trying to figure out where I'm from. Trying not to be too deep about it. Just briefly summarizing about why I'm here. So that was in 2017. When I got terminated in February 2018, I went to the convention center for an event. It has nothing to do with that. And to see a performance. It wasn't about my performance, but I'm not going to talk about that. This is all about me. And a lot of stuff happened during that time period, 2017. And it was pretty exhausting, actually. Monday through Fridays, walking. They even gave me a bicycle one time for Christmas. And it snowed that year. And during the holidays in December 2017, it snowed. And I was at a place like this. It was wonderful. And even though there was things that I missed out on, it was still a blast. And it's kind of sad at the same time. But it gets me sad with all these horrible feelings. But despite that, the over experience was pretty wonderful. And yep, that's right behind me is a building called the Hidalgo County Adult Probation Center. It's a place I went to after an incident that happened in September on Labor Day, 2017. And I would go to work, go on with my activities. Then somebody changed the whole plan or changed the whole game. And they went through going through all these corrections about an incident. So I would go to this adult probation office at the Hidalgo County Adult Probation since September 2017 till I think it was September 2019. So, and that was the end of the probation period. It was in the year 2019 when it was September. Several years have already passed, and so much happened already. And I would come to this office like at least once a month during that probation period, and I would camp out during the night to go in the morning and go to work. And then I would always be camping out somewhere nearby in the area and camping out in my sleeping bag. I have here like my sleeping bag, and like, I would be camping out. This is the way I would go. I just carry all my stuff. I didn't have a home of one that I could call my own, a place I can call my own. I didn't have a car, so I was here at this adult probation for about 2-3 years. About 2 years, a little bit over 2 years, but less than 3 years. So right behind me is Dave & Buster's. The first time I went to Dave & Buster's was on my 30th birthday. It was October 12th, 2018. And it was my first time going to a place called Dave & Buster's here. It was the year 2018 on October 12th. I've never been there before. It was my first time ever. I turned 30 years old in there. I gave invitations to a lot of people. There wasn't any one of them that showed up to my birthday. Then, so I turned 30 years old that day, and then on my way to turn 31 years old, unexpectedly I met someone. So right behind me over here is at a specialist center. And first time I came here, first time I entered that door, it was somewhere in, I think it was March 2019. I had gone through an evaluation about myself. Of course, these weren't the clothes that I was wearing. I was wearing a red shirt with some shorts, and I had combed my hair. I had shaved, brushed my teeth, showered up and everything. And I got evaluated by unexpectedly by a woman. Girl named Clarissa. And I didn't know I would be thinking about her several years later. Sometimes I want to let her know that I wrote a song about her. Just about that one day inside that group with her. Yep. There was a lot of things I am going to emphasize so much about it. I am going to. Some things I hadn't realized yet that I realized nowadays. Let's talk this for that. Well, guys, viewers, whoever wants to know, interested. So it was the beginning of the month of June 2019, and must have been before midnight, somewhere in the beginning of June. It might have been June 4th. I had climbed up the stairs. I had walked up. I was actually walking up these stairs that you see here behind me. I was walking up the stairs after I had walked several miles from my journey, and I had an alcoholic beverage. One of those beer brands I don't really like. And I was sitting up there. I was way up there. I was up there in the night. I was up there and I had my drink. It must have been before midnight. And after I was acknowledging about everything that I've been through already by that time, and some things that I hadn't come to realize yet. And then I actually tumbled down and I fell down. I actually fell downstairs, 14 stairs down to the floor, and I actually tumbled and I fell down the 14 stairs all the way to the bottom of the floor. So right over there, I fell down straight to the bottom. And it was just blood all over my face. I had blood all over my face. There was blood all over the floor, and I was all scraped up. I have a scar on my upper lip. My lip almost tore open, my upper lip. I just didn't want to get up. And it was one of the most horrible feelings ever. And after everything that I had been through already by that time, there were just some things I wasn't thinking about. And then I woke up in the morning. I finally found the will to get back up, to clean myself up and everything. And I created a story about the incident, the story of son Amos. So that's in remembrance about what happened. It was the story of son Amos came to be, and I invented a character about my incident, my experience, a fictional character. It's some sort of alter ego. And, it was one of the worst feelings ever. That was in June 2019. Hey, this is Albert, and lastly, after everything that I've been through since the introduction, not the pre-introduction, but the introduction, I just want to mention about some stuff that I've created or in my music instrument or in music. And I'm thinking about this project, and I was thinking about a band name. And I thought Eons of Death is the greatest band name ever. Like, that's gotta be it. And, I made a few songs about Prophet. Here's the intro to Kaleidoscope. That's the introduction to one of the songs. The Odyssey of John Prophet, based on this comic book. And there's all these things that I've been through throughout the time. Songs from Lovecraft, At the Mountains of Badness. And I'm working on this new project about Cordelia. Cordelia's another one. I've been really getting it. I've been getting really into it. Like putting my soul into it. I put my soul into all of this I do. And throughout those years, throughout that whole time and that history, I rediscovered some music albums. I got myself some music albums and like bands like Best Coast, Nora Jones. These are some of my favorite artists or musicians, and always, like they came out with a different album in the 2022 in October. Yep. Those are just some of the albums that I would listen to throughout my journey. And either I rediscovered or it was just forgotten throughout the whole adventure. And just continuing this quest. I'm trying to figure out how to complete mine. I complete mine. And I ask, how many days, months, years? How many days, months, and years it's been later since the time of that intro.